Rune 16 of the Kalevala. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. The Kalevala, compiled by Elias Lönnrot. Translated by John Martin Crawford. Rune 16. Wainainoinen's boat building. Wainainoinen, ancient minstrel, the eternal wisdom singer, for his boat was working lumber, working long upon his vessel, on a fog point jutting seaward, on an island, forest covered. But the lumber failed the master, beams were wanting for his vessel, beams and scantling, ribs and flooring. Who will find for him the lumber, who procure the timber needed for the boat of Wainainoinen, for the bottom of his vessel? Wainainoinen of the prairies, Sampsa, slender grown and ancient, he will seek the needful timber, he procure the beams of oak wood for the boat of Wainainoinen, for the bottom of his vessel. Soon he starts upon his journey to the eastern fields and forests, hunts throughout the Northland mountain, to a second mountain wanders. To a third he hastens, searching, golden axe upon his shoulder, in his hand a copper hatchet. Comes an aspen tree to meet him, of the height of 7 fathoms. Sampsa takes his axe of copper, starts to fell the stately aspen, but the aspen, quickly halting, speaks these words to Wainainoinen. Tell me, hero, what thou wishest, what the service thou art needing. Sampsa Wainainoinen answers, this indeed, the needed service that I ask of thee, O aspen. Need thy lumber for a vessel, for the boat of Wainainoinen, wisest of the wisdom singers. Quick and wisely speaks the aspen, thus its 100 branches answer. All the boats that have been fashioned from my wood have proved but failures. Such a vessel floats a distance, then it sinks upon the bottom of the waters it should travel. All my trunk is filled with hollows. 3 times in the summer seasons worms devour my stem and branches, feed upon my heart and tissues. Wainainoinen leaves the aspen, hunts again through all the forest, wanders through the woods of Northland, where a pine tree comes to meet him, of the height of 14 fathoms. With his axe he chops the pine tree, strikes it with his axe of copper. As he asks the pine this question, will thy trunk give worthy timber for the boat of Wainainoinen, wisest of the wisdom singers? Loudly does the pine tree answer, all the ships that have been fashioned from my body are unworthy. I am full of imperfections, cannot give thee needed timber wherewithal to build thy vessel. Ravens live within my branches, build their nests and hatch their younglings 3 times in my trunk in summer. Sampsa leaves the lofty pine tree, wanders onward, 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 to the woods of gladsome summer, where an oak tree comes to meet him, in circumference 3 fathoms. And the oak he thus addresses, ancient oak tree, will thy body furnish wood to build a vessel, build a boat for Wainainoinen, master boat for the magician, wisest of the wisdom singers? Thus the oak replies to Sampsa, I for thee will gladly furnish wood to build the hero's vessel. I am tall and sound and hardy, have no flaws within my body. 3 times in the months of summer, in the warmest of the seasons, does the sun dwell in my treetop. On my trunk the moonlight glimmers, in my branches sings the cuckoo, in my top her nestlings slumber. Now the ancient Wainainoinen takes the hatchet from his shoulder, takes his axe with copper handle, chops the body of the oak tree. Well he knows the art of chopping. Soon he fells the tree majestic, fells the mighty forest monarch with his magic axe and power. From the stems he lops the branches, splits the trunk in many pieces, fashions lumber for the bottom, countless boards and ribs and braces for the singer's magic vessel, for the boat of the magician. Wainainoinen, old and skillful, the eternal wonder-worker, builds his vessel with enchantment, builds his boat by art of magic. From the timber of the oak tree, from its posts and planks and flooring, sings a song and joins the framework, sings a second, sets the siding, sings a 3rd time, sets the rowlocks, fashions oars and ribs and rudder, joins the sides and ribs together. When the ribs were firmly fastened, when the sides were tightly jointed, then, alas, 3 words were wanting, Lost the words of Master Magic, how to fasten in the ledges, how the stern should be completed, how complete the boat's forecastle. Then the ancient Wainainoinen, wise and wonderful enchanter, heavy-hearted, spake as follows: Woe is me, my life hard-fated! Never will this magic vessel pass in safety o'er the water, never ride the rough sea billows. Then he thought and long considered where to find these words of magic, find the lost words of the Master. From the brains of countless swallows, from the heads of swans in dying, from the plumage of the grey duck. For these words the hero searches, kills of swans a goodly number, kills a flock of fattened grey duck, kills of swallows countless numbers, cannot find the words of magic, not the lost words of the Master. Wainainoinen, wisdom singer, still reflected and debated. I perchance may find the lost words on the tongue of summer reindeer, in the mouth of the white squirrel. Now again he hunts the lost words, hastes to find the magic sayings, kills a countless host of reindeer, kills a rafter full of squirrels, finds of words a goodly number, but they are of little value, cannot find the magic lost word. Long he thought and well considered. I can find of words 100 in the dwellings of Tuoni, in the Manala fields and castles. Wainainoinen quickly journeys to the kingdom of Tuoni, there to find the ancient wisdom, there to learn the secret doctrine. Hastens on through fen and forest, over meads and over marshes, through the ever-rising woodlands, journeys 1 week through the brambles, and a second through the hazels, through the junipers the 3rd week, when appear Tuoni's islands and the Manala fields and castles. Wainainoinen, brave and ancient, calls aloud in tones of thunder to the Tuonela deeps and dungeons, and to Manala's magic castle. Bring a boat, Tuoni's daughter, bring a ferry boat, O maiden, that may bear me o'er this channel, o'er this black and fatal river. Quick the daughter of Tuoni, magic maid of little stature, tiny virgin of Manala, tiny washer of the linen, tiny cleaner of the dresses, at the river of Tuoni in Manala's ancient castles, speaks these words to Wainainoinen, gives this answer to his calling. Straightway will I bring the rowboat, when the reasons thou hast given why thou comest to Manala in a hale and active body. Wainainoinen, old and artful, gives this answer to the maiden. I was brought here by Tuoni, Mana raised me from the coffin. Speaks the maiden of Manala, this a tale of wretched liars. Had Tuoni brought thee hither, Mana raised thee from the coffin, then Tuoni would be with thee. Manalainen too would lead thee, with Tuoni's hat upon thee, on thy hands the gloves of Mana. Tell the truth now, Wainainoinen, what has brought thee to Manala? Wainainoinen, artful hero, gives this answer, still finessing. Iron brought me to Manala, to the kingdom of Tuoni. Speaks the virgin of the Deathland, Mana's wise and tiny daughter. Well I know that this is falsehood. Had the iron brought thee hither, brought thee to Tuoni's kingdom, blood would trickle from thy vesture, and the blood drops scarlet-colored. Speak the truth now, Wainainoinen, this is the 3rd time that I ask thee. Wainainoinen, little heeding, still finesses to the daughter. Water brought me to Manala, to the kingdom of Tuoni. This the tiny maiden's answer. Well I know thou speakest falsely. If the waters of Manala, if the cataract and whirlpool, or the waves had brought thee hither, from thy robes the drops would trickle, water drip from all thy raiment. Tell the truth, and I will serve thee. What has brought thee to Manala? Then the willful Wainainoinen told this falsehood to the maiden. Fire has brought me to Manala, to the kingdom of Tuoni. Spake again Tuoni's daughter, well I know the voice of falsehood. If the fire had brought thee hither, brought thee to Tuoni's empire, singed would be thy locks and eyebrows, and thy beard be crisped and tangled. O thou foolish Wainainoinen, if I row thee o'er the ferry, thou must speak the truth in answer. This is the last time I will ask thee. Make an end of thy deception. What has brought thee to Manala, still unharmed by pain or sickness? still untouched by death's dark angel, spake the ancient Wainainoinen. At the first I spake not truly, now I give thee rightful answer. I a boat with ancient wisdom, fashioned with my powers of magic, sang one day, and then a second, sang the third day until evening, when I broke the magic mainspring, broke my magic sledge in pieces, of my song the fleetest runners. Then I come to Mana's kingdom, came to borrow here a hatchet, thus to mend my sledge of magic, thus to join the parts together. Send the boat now quickly over, send me quick, Tuoni's rowboat, help me cross this fatal river, cross the channel of Manala. Spake the daughter of Tuoni, Mana's maiden, thus replying, Thou art sure a stupid fellow, foresight wanting, judgment lacking, having neither wit nor wisdom, coming here without a reason, coming to Tuoni's empire. Better far if thou shouldst journey to thy distant home and kindred. Man, they that visit Mana, few return from Maria's kingdom. Spake the good old Wainainoinen, women old retreat from danger, not a man of any courage, not the weakest of the heroes. Bring thy boat, Tuoni's daughter, tiny maiden of Manala, come and row me o'er the ferry. Mana's daughter does as bidden, brings her boat to Wainainoinen, quickly rows him through the channel, o'er the black and fatal river, to the kingdom of Manala, speaks these words to the magician. Woe to thee, O Wainainoinen! Wonderful indeed thy magic, since thou comest to Manala, comest neither dead nor dying. Tuonetar, the Deathland hostess, ancient hostess of Tuoni, brings him pitchers filled with strong beer, fills her massive golden goblets, speaks these measures to the stranger. Drink, thou ancient Wainainoinen, drink the beer of King Tuoni. Wainainoinen, wise and cautious, carefully inspects the liquor, looks a long time in the pitchers, sees the spawning of the black frogs, sees the young of poisoned serpents, lizards, worms, and writhing adders, thus addresses Tuonetar. Have not come with this intention, have not come to drink thy poisons, drink the beer of Tuonela. Those that drink Tuoni's liquors, those that sip the cups of Mana, court the devil and destruction, end their lives in want and ruin. Tuonetar makes this answer, Ancient minstrel Wainainoinen, tell me what has brought thee hither, brought thee to the realm of Mana, to the courts of Tuonela, ere Tuoni sent his angels to thy home in Kalevala, there to cut thy magic life-thread. Spake the singer Wainainoinen, I was building me a vessel, at my craft was working, singing, needed 3 words of the master, how to fasten in the ledges, how the stern should be completed, how complete the boat's forecastle. This the reason of my coming to the empire of Tuoni, to the castles of Manala, came to learn these magic sayings, learn the lost words of the master. Spake the hostess Tuonetar, Mana never gives these sayings, canst not learn them from Tuoni, not the lost words of the master. Thou shalt never leave this kingdom, never in thy magic lifetime, never go to Kalevala, to Wainola's peaceful meadows, to thy distant home and country. Quick the hostess Tuonetar waves her magic wand of slumber o'er the head of Wainainoinen, puts to rest the wisdom hero, lays him on the couch of Mana, in the robes of living heroes, deep the sleep that settles o'er him. In Manala lived a woman in the kingdom of Tuoni, evil witch and toothless wizard, spinner of the threads of iron, moulder of the bands of copper, weaver of 100 fish nets, of 1,000 nets of copper, spinning in the days of summer, weaving in the winter evenings, seated on a rock in water. In the kingdom of Tuoni lived a man, a wicked wizard, 3 the fingers of the hero, spinner he of iron meshes, maker too of nets of copper, countless were his nets of metal, moulded on a rock in water. Through the many days of summer, Mana's son with crooked fingers, iron-pointed, copper fingers, pulls of nets, at least 1,000 through the river of Tuoni, sets them lengthwise, sets them crosswise in the fatal darksome river, that the sleeping Wainainoinen, friend and brother of the waters, may not leave the isle of Mana, never in the course of ages, never leave the Deathland castles, never while the moonlight glimmers on the empire of Tuoni. Wainainoinen, wise and wary, rising from his couch of slumber, speaks these words as he is waking. Is there not some mischief brewing? Am I not at last in danger in the chambers of Tuoni, in the Manala home and household? Quick he changes his complexion, changes too his form and feature, slips into another body, like a serpent in a circle, rolls black dyed upon the waters. Like a snake among the willows, crawls he like a worm of magic, like an adder through the grasses, through the coal-black stream of Deathland, through 1,000 nets of copper interlaced with threads of iron, from the kingdom of Tuoni, from the castles of Manala. Mana's son, the wicked wizard, with his iron-pointed fingers, in the early morning hastens to his 1,000 nets of copper, set within the Tuoni river, finds therein a countless number of the death-stream fish and serpents. Does not find old Wainainoinen, Wainainoinen, wise and wary, friend and fellow of the waters. When the wonder-working hero had escaped from Tuonela, spake he thus in supplication: "Gratitude to thee, O Ukko, do I bring for thy protection. Never suffer other heroes, of thy heroes not the wisest, to transgress the laws of nature. Never let another singer, while he lives within the body, cross the river of Tuoni, as thou lovest thy creations. Many heroes cross the channel, cross the fatal stream of Mana, few return to tell the story, few return from Tuonela, from Manala's courts and castles." Wainainoinen calls his people on the plains of Kalevala, speaks these words of ancient wisdom to the young men, to the maidens, to the rising generation: "Every child of Northland, listen. If thou wishest joy eternal, never disobey thy parents, never evil treat the guiltless, never wrong the feeble-minded, never harm thy weakest fellow, never stain thy lips with falsehood, never cheat thy trusting neighbor, never injure thy companion, lest thou surely payest penance in the kingdom of Tuoni, in the prison of Manala. There the home of all the wicked, there the couch of the unworthy, there the chambers of the guilty. Underneath Manala's fire rock are their ever-flaming couches, for their pillows hissing serpents, vipers green their writhing covers, for their drink the blood of adders, for their food the pangs of hunger, pain and agony their solace. If thou wishest joy eternal, shun the kingdom of Tuoni." End of Rune 16.